gang Jimmy busted for loan scam. MOA to expedite aid to drought-hit paddy farmers. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Amin Carlos and this is Updates at Noon. Now, police toppled a loan fraud scheme when a two-story house in Nilai, Negeri Sembilan was raided on Christmas Day last year. The Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Dato Sri Mazlan Lazim said the raid was carried out by Wangsa Maju District Police Headquarters after receiving a report on the syndicate. Well, he said police received a report from a victim who was the spouse of a loan fraud of 20,000 ringgit after the syndicate asked for an additional 2,800 ringgit to process the loan application. Well, 10 suspects consisting of 7 men and 3 women of a known gang Jimmy were detained. Now, Dato Mazlan said the suspects are between the ages of 19 and 33, believed to have been involved in the scheme since last October. Now, police also seized 32 pieces of fake checks, mobile phones, laptops and a print machine, as well as several books containing scripts to contact customers. According to him, all the suspects are being investigated under Section 420 of the Penal Code and have been charged at the Jalan Sultan Abdul Halim Magistrates Court Complex on 31st December. Well, a total of 131 Chinese nationals pleaded guilty at the Teluk Intan Sessions Court in Perak yesterday for being in the country without valid documents and overstaying. Now, the accused, comprising 123 men and 8 women aged between 18 and 54 years, made the plea before Judge Norita Muhammad Ardani after the charges were read in Mandarin. Judge Norita fined 10 of them 10,000 ringgit each in default of 2 weeks jail for overstaying, while another 121 of them were fined 5,000 ringgit each in default of 2 months jail for being in the country without a valid pass or permit. They were charged under Section 6, Subsection 1, Subsection C of Immigration Act 1959-63 for entering and staying in the country without valid pass, and Section 15, Subsection 1, Subsection C of the same Act for staying in the country beyond the period allowed. In a 5-hour trial, the Immigration Department prosecuting team was represented by Nurul Ashikin Rosli, while the accused were represented by lawyers Vahiz Oni, V. Santhiran, Zafli Pakwante and Amir Kushairi Muhammad Tanusi. Education Minister Dr. Mazli Malik has resigned from his position as a cabinet minister. Well, he made the announcement yesterday during a special press conference at the Education Ministry. His resignation makes him the first from Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamed's cabinet to go since the 14th general election.
Selepas pertemuan dengan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri sebentar tadi, di atas nasihat beliau yang merupakan bagi saya seorang ayahanda dan seorang pemimpin dan seorang negarawan yang ulung, dan di atas dasar ketaatan dan disiplin kepada kepimpinan parti dan kerajaan, maka saya dengan hati yang reda walaupun berat, dengan nasihat daripada Yang Amat Berhormat Ayahanda Perdana Menteri, saya Mazli Malik dengan ini memulangkan semula jawatan saya sebagai Menteri Pendidikan Malaysia kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri berkuat kuasa 3 Januari 2020.
The former Education Minister further expressed his confidence in Tun Dr. Mahathir's leadership and loyalty to the party, adding that he understood what needed to be done and thanked him for the opportunity to serve in the cabinet. Dr. Mazli is currently the Simpang Renggam MP and a member of the Bersatu Supreme Leadership Council. He was previously criticized for various issues, including introduction of black shoes and cot. Meanwhile, Mazli Malik has repeatedly joked at his ministry's biggest accomplishment may be introducing black shoes as part of public school uniforms from today. But the outgoing education minister has achieved much more than that. Heading a ministry that perhaps needed the most overhaul with a portfolio that was nationally and politically sensitive did not stop Mazli from being the first cabinet member to announce his ministry's end-of-the-year report card. After almost 5 decades, amendments to 3 related acts, including the Universities and University Colleges Act (UUCA) 1971, were passed at the Dewan Rakyat in December 2018, paving the way for full abolishment of the act in 2020. Apart from UUCA, 2 other acts are the Private Higher Educational Institutions Act 1996 and the Educational Institutions for Discipline Act 1976. The amendments to all 3 acts, which were aimed at ending a ban on students of higher education institutions being involved in political parties on campus, was tabled by Mazli himself. In October 2018, Mazli announced the abolishment of Year 1, 2 and 3 students' mid-year and final exams from 2019 to allow schools to focus more on teaching and help pupils discover the joy of learning. The examinations were replaced with a more objective assessment system last year. In January 2019, Mazli introduced a new policy aimed at helping those who are less fortunate gain access to good education with a 60% quota for students from low-income, the B40 households in boarding schools. And apart from allowing the less fortunate access to good education, Mazli also made corrective measures that enabled 2,635 stateless children to be enrolled in schools since 2019. Beginning January 2020, all primary school children nationwide will receive a free breakfast as part of the Free Breakfast Program initiative by the Education Ministry, managed in the same way as the existing Supplementary Food Program.
Parti Warisan Sabah President Dato Sri Shafie Apdal yesterday announced that the party's GE14 candidate, Dato Karim Bujang, will once again stand in the upcoming Kimanis by-election. He announced Dato Karim's name during the launch of the party's election machinery at the Membakud Open Hall.
Dato Karim, a former state assistant minister during the Barisan National Administration, filed an election petition in court post-GE14 and eventually won the case, which led to the Kimanis by-election. He is set to face UMNO candidate Dato Muhammad Alamin in the polls on 18th January for the parliamentary constituency. Speaking to the media, Dato Karim said he will not take lightly the trust placed in him to contest in the by-election. Meanwhile, Dato Sri Shafie also expressed his confidence that Parti Warisan Sabah will win the parliamentary seat to break the Barisan Nasionals or BN's winning streak, especially the recent landslide victory in the Tanjung Piai by-election. Dato Sri Shafie, who is also Sabah Chief Minister, stressed that Kimanis would not be like Tanjung Piai.
General Tan Sri Effendi Buang of the Royal Malaysian Air Force, or RMAF, has been appointed as Malaysia's 21st Armed Forces Chief yesterday. His predecessor, General Tan Sri Zulkifli Zainal Abidin of the Army, handed over his duties during the official handover ceremony yesterday, witnessed by Defence Minister Muhammad Sabu and his deputy, Senator Liu Chin Tong.
General Tan Sri Zulkifli assumed the role on 20th June 2018 from General Tan Sri Raja Muhammad Afandi Raja Muhammad Noor, who was also from the Army. The event saw many of the military's top decorated brass from all the services in attendance at the military's headquarters in Wisma Pertahanan. General Tan Sri Effendi's appointment is the second time the top office in the military has been granted to the RMAF. Born on 21st August 1962 in Kuching, Sarawak, General Tan Sri Effendi received his early education in his home city before he was offered a place in the Royal Military College in Sungai Besi. He completed his SPM in 1979 and joined the military as an RMAF cadet in 1980. The Sarawakian general was trained as a jet fighter pilot on an MB339A aircraft before graduating to a McDonnell Douglas A4 Skyhawk in October 1984. He was promoted as 18th Chief of the Air Force on 21st December 2016, replacing General Tan Sri Roslan Saad.
Well, meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail has congratulated General Tan Sri Effendi Buang for his appointment as the 21st Chief of Defence Force.
Writing in her official Twitter and Facebook page, she hoped the Malaysian Armed Forces will remain strong under his leadership. Tan Sri Effendi, 57, succeeded General Tan Sri Zulkifli Zain Al Abidin, who went on mandatory retirement yesterday. Prior to this, Tan Sri Effendi had been the Chief of Air Force since 21st December 2016.
Proton sales up 55.7% in 2019. Well, welcome back. Now, the Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Ministry, or MOA, will be speeding up assistance to help paddy farmers in Perlis and Kedah following the early onset of drought in the two states. Its Minister, Datuk Sri Salahuddin Ayub, said the ministry was prepared to render whatever assistance, including coordinating irrigation in Perlis with the Water, Land and Natural Resources Ministry.
The situation has affected the income of 2,360 farmers in Bintong, Beseri, Titi Tinggi, Padang Siding, Paya and Mata Air. Datuk Sri Salahuddin said his ministry would also direct the National Farmers Organisation, NAFAS, to quickly release allocations to affected farmers by providing petrol aid to pump water into paddy fields. A coordinated effort will also be taken with the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change, or MESEC, for cloud seeding in the area.
Kita telah ada peruntukan untuk kita membuat pembenihan ini. Cuma buat masa ini kita diberikan nasihat oleh pihak kaji cuaca. Keadaan terbentuk awan itu masih lagi tidak sesuai. Kita menunggu dan kita memerhatikan pada setiap saat dan ketika. Kalau sesuai, makanya kita akan menggunakan peruntukan yang sedia ada itu untuk kita melakukan pembenihan awan.
He said this during a visit to the flood mitigation project at Bintong and paddy planting project in Sempering near Kangar.
Well, allegations of granting business licenses to foreigners in Bazaria Wangsa Maju in Kuala Lumpur are mere provocations. Well, currently, all business site rental matters have to go through Kuala Lumpur City Hall or DBKL and do not involve third parties anymore.
Bazaria Wangsa Maju Trade Association Chairman Mat Ibrahim Marikan Mat Daud Marikan said by right the licenses should be granted to local citizens only.
Bila kita pergi cek betul-betul lesen adalah atas nama isteri dia orang. Jadi bila suami ada kat situ kita pun dah jadi pening kepala. Macam mana cara yang pihak kami atau pihak DBKL nak ambil tindakan. Sebab ramai pendatang asing ni dah begitu bijak. Bila dia datang kat sini, dia ambil kesempatan dengan kahwin dengan orang tempatan.
He added the authorities will conduct frequent monitoring to ensure the businesses run by the foreigners that are in compliance with existing rules. He said this to reporters at a special press conference held by the Bazaria Wangsa Maju Traders Association in Kuala Lumpur. From about 500 business sites made available there, more than 85% were taken up by traders from uptown Danau Kota who operate in Bazaria Wangsa Maju.
Well, Proton ended the year 2019 with 100,821 units of vehicles sold, thanks to Proton X70 and Proton Saga models, which were the main reason for that achievement. Now, Proton's sales during December were the highest for the whole of 2019, now growing by 112% to 11,117 units over the corresponding month in 2018.
Proton, in a statement, said this is the first time the national car maker crossed the 100,000 unit threshold since 2015. This is equivalent to a 20.5% share of the total industry volume, or TIV, in December, and also the first time the company had sold more than 11,000 cars in a month since July 2014. Proton added the figure has increased its sales up 55.7% compared to the previous year. This has also made Proton to be among the 5 best automotive brands in Malaysia this year. Iran's Qasem Soleimani killed in U.S. airstrike. But first, 10 Malaysian students in Jakarta are being housed at the Malaysia Hall after their homes were flooded since Wednesday. And Director of Education Malaysia in Indonesia, which is known as EMI, Professor Madya Dr. Mior Haris Mior Harun, said all the students were evacuated from their residences in Tanjung Duren Grogol, nearby Jakarta Barat. The students are all medical students at the Krida Wacana Christian University and will now be placed at the Malaysia Hall until conditions allow them to return. Dr. Mior noted that EMI will continue to monitor the situation and are still looking for other students who may be affected by the floods. Meanwhile, the Indonesian National Disaster Management Agency, BPNB, reported that as of last night, 30 people were reported to have died, while more than 30,000 evacuees were still housed at temporary relief centers. And with that, we conclude today's updates at noon. In our top story, Gang Jimmy busted for loan scam. Well, News on 2 comes on at 7 this evening. Till then, I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos. Bye for now.